Okay, yet to come, Ted Cruz ripping everybody a new one on the Senate floor over the budget deal. Rand Paul on the Senate floor talking about the budget deal, and yours truly. And I'm going to get back. I'm going to get to it before this program ends. I need to repeat, only to make the point again, some things I said yesterday about the Jeb Bush campaign, based on this discovery by, a leak to U.S. News, the 112-page internal campaign document. The Bush campaign describing how they're going to get Jeb the nomination. Hank? Now, the budget deal. Railed against this budget deal earlier in the week. And I made a point about it that a lot of people were curious about. And I got a lot of email. I said this budget deal basically elects Hillary Clinton president. And it's a bit of an exaggeration, but I wanted to make the point. And people said, what do you mean? Why does this budget deal elect Hillary? I said the primary thing it's a 2-year budget deal. It gives the Democrats everything they want, except it's the Republicans who have written it. This expands the national debt all the way up to $19.5 trillion. It blows the deficit sky high. It expands spending. It blows through Republican spending caps. And it's a 2-year budget. It equals. You know what this is? The Republicans have essentially, with this budget deal, given us Barack Obama's 9th year. The first year of the new president's term is going to be a budget signed into law by Barack Obama. And he loves everything about it. He loves this budget. It's pretty much his. And my point is, when you take away that big a weapon in your campaign arsenal, that it's the Democrats are the big spenders, that it's the Democrats spending us to oblivion, that it's the Democrats busting the budget, that it's the Democrats spending your grandkids' tax revenue. When you take that out of the Republican arsenal, that's one of the primary reasons you go to the election. Elect us. We're going to be responsible. We're not going to allow that kind of spending. We're not going to allow those tax increases. We're not going to allow government to get so. That's gone. We cannot campaign against Hillary Clinton as a big spender. Now, not to say we won't try. I guarantee you that even after authoring this budget, the Republicans will run against Hillary as this big spender, and they're going to be the ones to stop her, and they're going to count on the fact that nobody knows really what's happened in this budget deal, which is why I'm making such a big deal out of it. But it is the equivalent of Barack Obama's 9th year. Okay, so let's go to the audio sound bites on this. Rand Paul promised to filibuster this at the Republican debate, and he did. His filibuster lasted about 20 minutes. Here is a brief soundbite yesterday afternoon on the Senate floor. It's number 11. Soundbite number 11 in 3, 2, 1.
Rush Limbaugh says the Republican Party cannot campaign by running around blaming the Democrats for destroying the budget, for overspending, for threatening the very fabric of the country. They can't do it because they're now complicit. Here's the thing. We can't point fingers and say, the Democrats are the big spenders. We now, by this deal, become complicit. We become equally guilty of supporting new debt.
Bingo. That's exactly right. And we have thus removed one of the primary differences between us and them in a campaign and in governance. It's a big deal. It is a big deal. And it's being promoted as, well, this is Boehner's gift to the new Speaker, Paul Ryan. It's giving him a clean slate because Ryan's fingerprints aren't anywhere on this, so his speakership cannot be held accountable. Blaming anything. And the Republicans wanted this deal because now the big thing with the Republicans, the reason they're excited, they have seen to it. Yes, they have. That there won't be a government shutdown. Yes, and because of that, they think they've got a major victory. Because there won't be a government shutdown and there won't be a threat of a government shutdown, and that means they have a chance to win the president. That's how convoluted the thinking has become. They basically write a Democrat budget, a budget that Obama loves, and they think that eliminates any chance of a government shutdown. And a government shutdown is like showing Dracula the cross. And the fact that that's not going to happen is why they think it's such a big deal. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Do you think any of this is going to stop Harry Reid or Pelosi, or take your pick, any of them, from running around saying the Republicans are trying to shut down the government? I mean, if it's nothing for Harry Reid to lie about Mitt Romney not paying his taxes for 10 years, how hard do you think it'll be for the Democrats in the presidential campaign year to run around and say to the Republicans, I tell you what, they want to shut this government down. They want to cut Social Security. They want to cut Medicare, even though the budget has just been blown through the roof for 2 years. You think the Democrats will not lie about it now? This is what's never made any sense to me about writing and implementing policy designed to get Democrats to shut up. They never do shut up. They're not going to stop the accusations. Anyway, Ted Cruz was also on the Senate floor. Last night, 3 sound bites. In order, here they are.
This is the combined work product of John Boehner and Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell and Harry Reid. The entire time, Republican leaders have been promising, we're going to do something on the budget. We're going to rein in the president. They have been in the back rooms negotiating to fund every single thing President Obama did. I'm reminded it wasn't too long ago we saw El Chapo dug out of his prison cell. One of the first things you realize when El Chapo was dug out is that tunnel wasn't dug overnight, that the drug cartels had spent many weeks or months digging that tunnel.
So Ted Cruz essentially accuses Mitch McConnell of working for the Democrats. Ted Cruz goes on to say that Mitch McConnell spends more time on how to defeat conservatives than Harry Reid ever did. Here's the next bite.
When I said Majority Leader McConnell is the most effective Democratic leader we've seen in modern times, you know what? Harry Reid didn't spend that much time thinking about how to beat Republicans. Leader McConnell spends more time focused on how to defeat conservatives than Harry Reid ever did. That is the problem. It is our own leadership that cooks up deals. Why do you think, Mr. President, we're voting at 1 a.m? Is that an accident? It is by design. 1 a.m, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Pay no attention to another $85 billion in debt.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is why they hate Ted Cruz. In the Republican establishment, inside the Beltway, wherever you find the Republican commentariat, that's why they hate Ted Cruz. And make no mistake, they do. If you're just joining us, in the first half hour of the program today, played some sound bites. You know, Brit Hume, during the debate on Wednesday night, paraphrasing again, tweeted about, well, it's great that Ted Cruz talks about all these fights that he's led, but how many has he won? The answer, none. Same next night, Ted Cruz is on Fox, and he's asked, okay, you've led a lot of fights, but how many have you won? And he lists off 3. 1, 2, 3, bam, bam, bam. And then they said, but Ted, you know, one of the big problems is you're such a divisive figure. What do you mean divisive? All I do is oppose what's happening here in Washington. You can't oppose what's happening without being divisive. If you're not being principled, you're not being divisive. Of course I'm divisive. I'm opposing on principle what's happening in this town, like the rest of the Republicans ought to be as well. But look, they'd rather not be called divisive. Well, what does the opposite of divisive mean? Cooperative. I'm not going to cooperate with the Republicans, in the Democrats, rather, in their efforts here to transform this country. So, yeah, call me divisive. But they don't mean divisive in a good. They mean this guy can't get along with anybody. This guy he slashes, he dices, he just cuts people up. He doesn't want to work with anybody, and they want to say that that's why we can't have Cruz. And then he goes out and says, Mitch McConnell spends more time trying to defeat me and conservatives than Harry Reid ever did. And here come the long knives on the Republican side for him. Here's the next and the final bite of Ted Cruz on the Senate floor. And again, this is last night.
What are the terms of this budget deal? A bill that adds $85 billion in spending increases, $85 billion to our national debt. It's more than the Senate negotiated with the House when Harry Reid was majority leader. When Harry Reid was majority leader, the Ryan Murray budget agreement, which was a flawed agreement, an agreement I voted against, increased spending by $63 billion over 2 years. Now, Mr. President, what does it say to you that a supposedly Republican majority of the United States Senate negotiates a bigger spending bill than Harry Reid and the Democrats?
Well, what it says is that the Republicans have given away over half their ammunition in a presidential campaign in exchange for what they think is a new reality in which no one can accuse them of wanting to shut down the government. Brief timeout. Open Line Friday continues after this.